Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the betting show for UFC Fight Night between Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill. We're going to be breaking that fight down as well as another prop bet on another fight. So we got two fights to talk about here. I do have a 5% play, my best bet play, up right now for purchase. Link down in the description. And basically over the last 365 days, I've only had 10 releases of those plays, 7 and 3 over that span. This one coming now as the 11th over that span. And let's see how we do. I'm excited about it. Gonna break this one down. And remember, this card here, for me at least, is not a card that I am really excited about, whether it's entertainment or betting, but we always got to look for those edges. We always got to look for those betting edges and those spots to place our money. I really like this 5% play, and there are two plays here to be talking about as well as the free plays. And, don't force a bet. If you're out there, don't force a bet. Don't, a lot of people are talking about that. Hey, why don't you release more? Why don't you, aren't there more plays that you like? Sometimes there is. But I think in general, it's really being selective for me, finding spots to place our money in strong position. So that's what I have up right now for you. But I'm back from vacation, man. I am back. I am feel a little bit rejuvenated and yet a little bit tired as well. It was so much fun. If you guys were paying attention on Twitter, I was posting up some stuff there at Kyle Anthony UFC. And had a great time. 5 nights out there with friends and all kinds of crazy things going on out there. So I'm back. Let's see how we do kind of getting water and nutrition back into my system here. But besides for that, we are going to be talking the main event and between Johnny Walker and Jamal Hill. So this is going to be a great fight here. And let's dive right into it. Let's get right into it now. So what we have right now is we've got Jamal Hill as a favorite, minus 265. On the other side, you've got Johnny Walker, plus 205. And what we always do here is we break down 3 fights for each fighter, see what we see, and if the line makes sense to place a wager. So we're first going to be talking about Johnny Walker, who is plus 205. Excuse me. So 3 fights ago, he fought Nikita Krylov. Now, this was a fight here, I think, that really starts to show even further just the grappling and just the cardio of how terrible it is of Johnny Walker. I mean, this is a spot where really just Krylov just kind of weighed on him, just got on, up against the fence, smothering him. And Johnny Walker's the kind of guy, he's big, he's strong, he's got very athletic, explosive, and he wants space. He wants, space to work his striking. He wants space to kind of utilize some of his flashy and kind of crazy, attacks that he does have. And all Krylov did was work him up against the fence, get takedowns. And I don't even rank Krylov that high just in general skill set. But he pretty much did what he needed to do to go out there, get the victory, get on top, keep positioning. It was not a pretty fight by any means, but Krylov goes out there and he gets the decision victory over Johnny Walker. 2 fights ago, he fought Ryan Spann. Now, this was a wild fight for 2 minutes and 43 seconds. There was spots where you thought, Walker was going to win. There were spots where you thought that Spann was going to win. All within that 2 minutes and 43 seconds. But you go into this fight here, and right away, you saw how Spann pushing forward, and then, trying to go for the takedowns. And again, kind of the same thing. I think Spann kind of realized, again, what Krylov did. Maybe this is the blueprint for me. I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to smother him. And he ends up kind of getting out of it. There was a spot where actually, Spann took him down. Walker gets back up. He gets tagged. He gets dropped. It looked like this was going to be the fight over. You even hear the cornermen saying, finish it, because it just didn't look like a good situation, the way that he fell down, and then Spann got on top of him. Somehow Walker did get back up, but again, gets hurt, gets dropped, Spann's taken it. It really just looked like this was going to be Spann steamrolling through Johnny Walker. But when he went in for a takedown up against the fence, had Walker, where he was looking to level change, I really think he should have just kept striking. I think he really, I think the fight IQ was not there, because you really should just be standing. Walker was kind of, he didn't really look like he was all there, and he went for the level change, kept his head really up against his leg, and he starts throwing big shots, then starts throwing elbows. Fight over. Johnny Walker wins by first round knockout, but there was a lot of question marks kind of going into that, where it just looked like Walker was going to lose. It looked like Walker probably could have lost that fight like 3 times within those 3 minutes, but he finds a way to win. He did get the victory. He goes out there and gets the victory over Ryan Spann by first round knockout. And then most recently was Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. And this one here, I'm not breaking this one down. I refuse to break this one down because there was just no action. These guys were both just mannequins, moving around the cage, not, like it just, nobody was really striking. And this was here where a lot of people say, hey, look, Johnny Walker lasted 5 rounds. He's got the cardio. Look, he lasted. There was, I've seen 3-round fights, 2-round fights that have had more action than this 5-round fight. They really didn't do much. Thiago Santos, I was so high on long ago, and I don't know what happened to him. He just doesn't look the same. I'm not going to start saying with steroids or whatever it was. He did get injured, and now he is starting to get a little bit older, but he just does not have that ferociousness in him where he just goes in there and looks to fire shots. Every time they exchange, they both kind of like flinching back and just kind of moving around. It just was a ugly fight for both of them. Santos does get the victory. I think in the fifth round, I think he hurt. He finally went for it and hurt Walker, and that kind of thing gave it to him because I think I had it 3-2. Santos, but it was just a terrible fight overall. Walker didn't do anything, and he goes out there, he loses the decision against Thiago Santos. Then your side, you've got Jamal Hill minus 265, and 3 fights ago he fought OSP, Open St. Preux. This was a fight here where I really like this is the evolving of Jamal Hill. I really see it is just the fact that, he definitely has patience, and he's a guy that he does have the power, he's very rangy, has great combinations, but sometimes you can just kind of not want to grow or not want to actually kind of utilize other skill sets. And I think what he did here really looked good because he knew Open St. Preux, he's another guy that kind of tails off, and he was just very relaxed. He just, in that first round, he just kind of let the fight come to him, moved around the cage a little bit, and the way that I think Hill set this up is a way that I think he kind of sets it up with Walker on Saturday night. And basically, he's just really versatile. He's throwing body shots. He landed, I think, 13 or whatever it was, hard body shots, working that, and that's going to slow this fighter down even further, whether it's going to be Walker, whether it's going to be OSP, and that's the spot where I really think that's going to be something he can expose going into Saturday night. But when you look at this fight, he goes there in the first round, he looked good, he outlanded him, and then you could already see OSP kind of tailing off, but he still, what I like about Hill is he waited for the moment to go and attack. Even when he clocked OSP and OSP kind of went up against the fence, he was patient. He didn't just go guns blazing, knowing the power that OSP has. He's a big dude, he's got some hard kicks, he's got some hard shots, he can all of a sudden take you down, and the way that he's able to find these chokes. So I think Hill fought very smart in that fight. He goes out into that second round, he puts him up against the fence and just unloads, starts firing body shots, head shots, really just mix it up, and OSP had nothing but to basically shell up, goes out there, he gets the second round TKO victory over OSP. 2 fights ago, he fought Paul Craig. Now, this is just kind of a crazy fight, kind of a crazy situation, but this does show there is a hole in his game when it comes to takedowns. There's definitely, I think he's got confidence. I think that absolutely Hill has confidence in his game overall, and I think that this loss against Craig will help him in the future. I think it's really going to help him grow. A lot of these guys, they're undefeated, they think they're the best, they lose, and now they maybe, you can go both ways. It can go either, they just, all of a sudden, they can't take the loss, or they say, hey, I'm going to grow. And I really think in this spot here, Jamal Hill, he goes in, he looked confident, he's moving around the cage, and then all Paul Craig wants to do is latch on you and get you down. That's all he's looking to do. That's all he wants to do. And he tried to pull guard quickly, couldn't get it, and then ended up getting it. And there was a spot there where it looked very bad for Hill right away, where he kind of latched onto his arm. And then there was a spot where Hill probably had a spot to get up, where he kind of got out, he disengaged a little bit, and then went back into the guard, which that's, maybe that's a confidence thing. He said, hey, I'm going to be able to grapple with this guy. And there was, I guess, some kind of bad blood before this fight. They kind of talked a little bit. But this was a spot here where he stayed on the ground, stayed in the guard, got his arm ripped off, and that was the end of that fight there. So not much to fully break down there, but he goes out there and loses against Paul Craig. And then most recently, he fought Jimmy Crute. Now, Jimmy Crute is in this spot was a minus 175, and this was something where I think you've got 2 guys. You've got Crute who's got power. You've got Crute who's looking to walk you down, and you got really that precise striking of Hill, and we keep seeing the way that he strikes. And 30 seconds, into the fight, they start firing shots, and the spot that I really was impressed with, just the placement of this step-in left hook was beautiful. I mean, really, he caught, he dropped Crute kind of got back up, and then he throws this beautiful left hook, drops him, fight over. And that says a lot. Crute is a tough dude. Really tough dude. And the fact he just sparked him twice in, under a minute or whatever it was, is impressive and shows the power that Hill has. We've seen it in other guys, but to be able to put out Jimmy Crute, I think, says a lot about his power, his striking, his precise spots where he's throwing. I think in the, what was it, the OSP fight, I think he was like 60% landing, 70%. I mean, he is just very, very economical with his striking. He doesn't go crazy with it, and I think that helps him last longer in fights as well. So with that being said, obviously you've got Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker's got power. He's explosive, strong guy, versatile striking. He's throwing these flying knees, knocking people out. He's spinning back fists. He doesn't, jumping off the cage. He does not care because he is a freak athlete, and he's the kind of guy that if he ever got to that next level, it's like he can't really get to that next level. He is definitely got a lot of weapons, and he's a big, strong dude for the division. And their side, though, you've got Jamal Hill. Now with Hill here, we obviously know his striking is top notch, and he's really continuing to elevate that. Solid kickboxing, but I think that his boxing is up there with some of the best in the division. I really believe that. The way that he is just impressive, fast hands. He likes to move forward. He, again, like we talked about it before, he mixes it up very well, and he's very rangy, and that range really sometimes is very difficult for a lot of opponents to deal with. Not just the fact that he has the range, but he can utilize it very well. He's got great hand speed, so he really has a lot going for himself into Saturday night. Now, with that being said, also is the fact that there are some red flags on Johnny Walker, and these are ones that I'm not uncovering anything new, but this here obviously are the two big things. And the first one here is Johnny Walker's chin. I mean, his chin is terrible, and if he ever could fix that, which he can't, but if he ever fixed that, man, this guy would be a problem in the division. But you see that overall, we consistently see these flash knockdowns. He gets back up and kind of, you've seen it even before the UFC. I think there's footage out there of him getting, flash knocked out 4 times in a round, and then he finally got knocked out, or whatever it was like boom, down, boom. I mean, he just can't. It's always been a part of his career, and when he's able to find early finishes is when he can find a victory. Because if it starts getting later in the fight, things start happening. I think that he starts to slow down, and that is the other red flag here. You've got also the fact his cardio is terrible. So you've got a bad chin, you've got bad cardio. We've seen him consistently where early in fights, first round, second round, he's already looking like, tired. And I think it was, I'm not sure which fight it was. Maybe it was Nikita Krylov, where after that first round, just a little bit, he looked like he was tired. Probably that first round was more striking than Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. So he doesn't have that gas tank. That's going to be a big problem. And the fact that he slows down, and the fact that really how precise the striking is of Jamal Hill and where he's able to kind of consistently push forward, he's going to find that chin. He's going to get these knockdowns. He's going to be putting pressure on him. He knows that early that first round, this is a 5-round fight, so that first round, Hill is going to be, again, doing what he did against OSP, where he's not going to put himself in danger. He's going to realize that there's 5 rounds. He's going to know that Walker, his best chance of winning is that first round, I guess maybe that second round, and then he's going to really start tailing down. Now, obviously, he's got power, he can land, anyone can knock anybody out, but I think that's a big telling sign. Now, out of the 4 victories for Johnny Walker in the UFC, all came in the first round. So it just tells you that if he doesn't get that first round knockout, or he doesn't find that chin, or he doesn't land a big shot, he really tails off, and his probability of winning really decreases. And that's the part where really I think that Hill, work with his volume, with his preciseness, with the way that he works his striking, really all tails to him. And the other part is this is a 5-round fight. This is a 5-round fight. I don't see how the way that Jamal Hill fights, the power that he has behind him, how this should be just a pure striking matchup, the way that I think that Walker will tilt off later into this fight. I like Hill here, obviously, here as I'm talking it up. I like Hill here, but I think the method of victory play is still a nice play here. And I'm going to have to be going Jamal Hill via knockout, minus 130. We're getting off the big number of, minus 270, minus 265. The minus 130 line on Hill, I think, is a nice price. I don't think that it's anything crazy. Now, maybe I'm kind of was hoping that there would be maybe a plus number next to this, but I still think it's good value. I still think it's good value because I am so down on Johnny Walker. There's a possibility that Hill goes out there and knocks him out in the first round. That's very possible. I just think that he protects in the first round and then starts to really build up, looking for that finish going into the later rounds. But as my free play, I am going Jamal Hill via knockout plus minus 130. All right, and my last play I'm going to be talking about here is Jessica Rose Clark versus Stephanie Egger. And you've got Clark, she is minus 200. And the other side here, you've got Stephanie, she is plus 160. Going to be quick on this one here. Well, the first thing here is that, Stephanie, she's not that bad of a fighter. I think she's 6-2. She's not that bad of a fighter, but I think the path and the things that actually Clark are working on really blend very well for her to find a victory. So the first thing here is the vulnerability, and I think that Stephanie has had issues with lower level grapplers than Clark, and just can't, whether it's positioning, whether it's she's just getting out grappled, she's been losing positions on the mat against lower level opponents. I think that really helps somebody like Clark, where Clark right now, and I think it's the biggest part, and this is why also Clark against Jocelyn Edwards was a client play winner, is because I like Clark here. I said Clark is just going to wrestle. She was working with DC. She was talking a lot about it. She was saying with Cormier. She's not working with Cormier to just not wrestle or to, I think she's realizing, hey, in women's MMA, it is massive. Takedowns are always big. But like I always say, in women's MMA, it's so important because sometimes women just can't get, maybe the strength isn't there or they're just unable to, but when they get them on, when you got somebody who is a little bit better on top and can ride around out, that's massive. And I think that's what she's realizing here. She's utilizing it last fight against Jocelyn Edwards, and it was a lay and pray kind of situation. It was a winner, but it was a lay and pray where she basically said, hey, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to keep you there. She wasn't, burying shots and ground and pound. She was just working it, and I think she's going to do more in this fight. Now, I would expect a lot more improvements from Clark from the last fight to this fight. I think she's going to be better in the grappling. I think she's going to be able to push a little bit better. I think the apex cage is also going to help her pin Egger up against the fence, working to a position. I think that's going to help her very much so. And again, I think it lines up very well for her to go out there and really dominate the positioning here. Egger has a 40% takedown defense rate. Again, Clark, I think her takedown success rate is going to change a lot because I think now she's really, really focusing on it, and I think that's going to be the path to victory for her here. So I think that, if she's comfortable with just laying on top of Jocelyn Edwards last fight and not really doing too much and just said, hey, I just want to win. That, I believe, is going to be what happens Saturday night here. So you've got right now Clark, she's minus 200. I want to get off that number as well here too. So I'm going to be picking Jessica Rose Clark via decision plus 130. It's a nice turnaround here. You're getting a nice plus number. And again, I think it's the most likely path to victory is just grappling. And I think that Stephanie can do enough to just stay around for 3 rounds as Clark works top position here. This was close. I'm actually contemplating making this a client play. I do feel good about it. I just want to see, a couple more things. I'm maybe going to, but either way, I do like this play here. I like that Clark goes out there, gets the job done over 3 rounds at plus 130 to win via decision. So there you have it for UFC Fight Night. Jamal Hill versus Johnny Walker. I am still out of it. Versus Johnny Walker, and I'm excited to really see what happens here with this 5% best bet play. Link in the description if you want to get. I have a long write-up on this play here because I've got a lot to say about it. So if you want to check it out, link down in the description. And I'm going to go drink some more water, and we will see how we do this Saturday night. So this is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show, and we'll see you next time.